G'day folks, welcome to a quick little shop update. Yeah, I know I've been lacking in content, and I probably haven't really had any excuse for not mashing together the content that I already have put to disc, but yeah, I've been nursing a bit of a damaged rib at the moment, and I'm just basically out of action, at least for the most part, and also trying to get into Fallout 4, which, I don't know, I want to keep working. I want to get back to my current job and try and make up for the massive amount of work that's there. But when you've torn a muscle between two ribs and it starts feeling like someone's stabbing you with a knife, it's not the easiest thing to work with. So let's just say I haven't been doing much for the last few weeks. And yeah, it's a pain in the ass. And that's how it's going to go. But in future, we've got a few videos coming up, an autopsy. I did spend a bit of time tearing something apart with Julian over the weekend. There's something of a partially cognitive autopsy video for that one. I know I had a few to drink at the time, and I was trying to recharge Bluey's AC at the same time as doing everything else, but yeah, it was fun and it worked. So I'll try and get that mashed together and uploaded as long as my net allows me to. But yeah, it's one of those things. It's been a bit hard lately, and yeah, it will get a lot better in future. I'm definitely going to try my best to get in with the company that Julian just recently started working for. It will probably involve buying a new car, which is why this little guy's up on the screen. I've scratched the Nissan Juke from my purchase order or purchase list. It was at the top until I realised the CVT autos are a piece of shit and just blow up at like 10,000 kilometres at random. They don't all do it, but they're a time bomb waiting to go off, and no, I don't want to drive a manual for like 2 hours a day, every day. Yeah, Hyundai iX35 diesel auto would be perfect. And with what I'm going to be transferring over to, it's definitely not out of the budget. Like, it's an affordable vehicle by that point. So I've got to do my best to A, heal up, B, get my foot in the door where Julian's working, and C, just keep my current work happy, because I have given them several months notice. They know I'm going. They know I'm bored with what I'm doing there, and they know I'm going, but which company I go to is sort of debatable at the moment, because there are 3 different companies that want me. One of them does air compressors, one of them does plastics extrusion, moulding and CNC machining, and the other one does fit outs and development of fire, police and emergency services vehicles. So there's 3 really interesting options on the board, and I'm going to pick the best one. So yeah, and it'll also pay a lot better. It'll mean better videos in the future when I get set up, probably with a new place. It's just one of those things. I've turned 30 a few weeks ago. I know I didn't do a video or anything like that, but I'm 30 years old and I don't even own my own place. I'm still on a long-term lease here. It's time to pull my finger out and actually do something good and proper. And that does mean stepping up in the job world. It does mean more hours, less hours out here. But again, the main company that I want to go for does allow you to accrue overtime as, well, time off essentially. Rather than just getting paid penalty rates, you actually get that hour that you work off, like later in the month. You could take a few extra days off and have an extra long weekend each month if you rack up extra overtime, which is really cool. That works really well. So I'm going to work my best on that one, and I'm going to make sure that I don't permanently maim myself or just mess this rib up so bad that I can't do anything for the next couple of years, because apparently that's how bad it is. The scans don't show a break, but if the muscle is partly torn, which we believe it is, there is the possibility that if I keep aggravating it, it's just going to keep getting worse. So yeah, what do you do? Well, I guess you take it easy anyway. Mainly just lifting and ripping on things, like wrenching on chuck keys and things. I tried going to work today, but trying to lift the bandsaw up for each cut and trying to reef on a chuck key to machine the parts I was cutting off, it got to the point where I just couldn't take it, and I went into the office and just told them what was going on, and they basically just told me to bugger off and get better over the next 5 days. So yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but at least I've got things to do. I can mash videos together, I can play Fallout 4, which looks like an awesome game, and yeah. I think that's about it. I mean, I've got other projects that I want to do. I was going to announce a heap of upcoming projects, but really I can't do anything with them anyway. So I'll keep that all under wraps, and you'll see a few bits and pieces of videos, and that's about it. And yeah, I realise I've been a bit quiet. I am getting back into the social media thing, but yeah, I guess that's what you do when you're partially incapacitated. So yeah. I mean, it's not a major rib injury, it's just this lower pair down here. If I poke at it, it hurts. Or if I try and really push my arm way above head height, it hurts, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's not good. Anyway, I've got a few little projects and things on the go, and I can't really do much with them, can I? I also want to extend my support and condolences to the victims of the Paris terror attacks. I realise everyone's getting on that at the moment, which is great. Personally, I think defiance and support of military action is the best way to do it. I've always been a supporter of military action. My family has had ties with Australian Defence Force in the past. Even my grandmother, she was in the Women's Australian Air Force, WAF. Grandpa was in the Battle of the Somme, or sorry, great-grandpa was Battle of the Somme. Grandpa was in the Philippines. It's just, yeah, it's a horrible thing to go through, and all I can say is keep your chin up and don't let them get to you. Be defiant, be aware, be prepared. If you have to go prepping, get good first aid equipment handy, that sort of thing, but again, that leads to paranoia, and I'm not a big fan of paranoia or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I enjoy shooting, I like being prepared for things like that, but again, I'm not a prepper. I don't have stacks of food stashed away, I don't go out wearing body armour and carrying a handgun. What happens happens, and I just don't want people to jump to conclusions and start crucifying every single Muslim they find. That only makes you look as bad as the fucking ISIS. But it's one of those things, you all get emotional, and yeah, I just wish the families and the victims and all of them, well, they have my support and prayers and everything else that goes along with it. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I'll still pray for those who've died and the families who have to live without their loved ones. It's a bad thing. And yeah, I also don't want to see other people dying because of knee-jerk reactions. At least people who don't deserve it. But the people who do deserve it, yeah, we got to get boots on the ground and put bullets and bombs into them. Go get them. Russia's into it. France is into it. Our own Prime Minister's talking support. It's time to snuff this monster out, because IS is worse than Nazis. At least the Nazis were courteous enough to wear uniforms in most cases. These guys don't. They blend in with the local population. It's a hard war to fight. And yeah, you got my full support. Anyway, I'm not going to go off on too much more of a tangent, but I just thought I'd state my point on this one and let everyone know you've got my support. If you're a peace-loving, just good and honest person, you've always got my support. And I know I've got subscribers, probably quite a few of them, who are of the Muslim religion. And I would never condemn or condone or just... I'll never condemn somebody for doing that if they're a good and honest person, and many of them are. It's not my cup of tea, but hey, don't go around burning mosques and harassing people just because they wear a burqa or because they look Middle Eastern. It's been going on for quite a while now, and it makes us look bad. It makes good, honest Australians look bad when they go around harassing people who've done no wrong and have no intention of it. But again, it's really hard because, again, we're fighting an enemy who blends in with the population. So, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. You can swing it one way or the other. And it ain't going to be pretty. The outcome's never going to be pretty. There's always going to be collateral damage. I just don't want to see too much of it. So, yeah. Didn't I say I wasn't going to go on about this? Anyway. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm going to stop right now.